and I will remember to record this time. Oh my god.
Cracks down on what kind of crime each day. His skills assure us no taxpayer dollar strays.
Welcome to Rock Hard Caucus. This is episode 198. It's finally happened, everybody. The Sandman has announced he is running for governor in 2026. We all knew it was coming. He was just teasing us for months and months.
He lied, man. He said he wasn't going to do it until June. And it's May. It's May. It's gonna be May, actually. Well, it's already May, but didn't he send an email that had that in it?
I'm
pretty sure he did.
I think he's done that every year. Any opportunities to spam your inbox with memes, he takes it. Reddit memes from 2012. Mm-hmm. That's kind of his stock and trade. So how do you feel about this?
I'm excited, man. We got a lot of pod content out of it. I mean, we're going to deal with this for like a year and a half.
I'm already so unhappy.
Pod stocks are up, baby.
Yeah. Like I said, episode 198. I've been talking about how episode 200, we're going to just end it at 200. Yeah.
Now you're actually considering it?
We can't.
Okay. I thought you were like, I mean, it was a joke before. I thought maybe you're actually considering it now. Like, fuck it. We don't want to talk about this anymore. Yeah.
No, I feel like we have an obligation to continue on now.
Yeah. In line with that, I got an email from some group. Not sure what it's about really, but it's like a press release, and they wanted to just share it with me, I guess. So I thought it'd be a good thing to read for the pod.
They went to you?
They went to me, yeah, which is strange.
Podcast inbox?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like, I'm the messenger for this.com, everybody, if you need press releases. I mean, you can send them to Evan too, that's fine. It's just more central if you send it to the podcast email. But yeah, sorry, continue.
Yeah. All right, so this is what the statement says. For decades, Iowa was a place known for common sense and equal opportunity, a model of pragmatism and cooperation, a brilliant purple bellwether state. At least that was the dominant narrative. In reality, Iowa is a state whose politics have always been rooted in the interests of white Protestant farmers, an inherently conservative state in a nation founded on settler colonial logic. As the formerly unspoken aspects of that settler colonial logic are now out in the open, Iowans have increasingly embraced the fascist leaders of the Grand Old Party. At the same time, they have turned their backs on the sclerotic opposition party who openly collaborate with the GOP while portraying themselves as advocates for the people they want to destroy. Nope PAC's primary objective is to prevent Rob Sand from becoming the next governor of Iowa. We will use social media and organizing to spread the word about what lurks beneath his pale skin, elfish demeanor, and Carhartt gear. We will encourage people to show up to his events and ask questions about the culture war issues he considers a distraction from his campaign to win over Rob-Publicans. Does Rob Sand think that Iowa should be a state that welcomes immigrants regardless of their legal status? Would he sign a bill to broadly enshrine the right to an abortion? Will he be an advocate for trans Iowans facing unprecedented repression? We will post the modeling pics he doesn't want you to see from his time in Paris and Milan. We will promote any primary challenger who decides to run against him, anyone, even Paul Dahl.
Yeah.
We will talk about how his wife is the CEO of a large agricultural company and how her Republican father and family have donated millions to Rob Sand's political campaigns, while simultaneously donating tens of thousands to the governor he is trying to replace and his potential challenger in the general election. We will make Iowans listen to the Rob Sand cover of Roxanne. Nope PAC welcomes all Iowans who dislike Rob Sand to join us in this journey, unless you are a bigot. Together, we seek to create a movement that will bring Iowans together and put a stop to this man's political career.
Nope PAC, huh?
Yeah.
Any idea who's behind that? This was sent to you anonymously?
I have no clue.
Yeah. I thought that the beginning of that sounded kind of familiar.
Yeah, a little bit.
The first couple sentences, it's like ringing a bell in the back of my mind. Yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that's kind of that was mentioned in that press release. But I want to make a couple of things explicit just right off the top, in case anybody shuts off the podcast early. Rob Sand's father-in-law is Nixon Lauridsen. He's in charge of the Lauridsen Group. It's I don't know, some sort of conglomerate. They have interests in like the beef industry, ethanol.
They market animal proteins.
Yes.
Various animal proteins to make you big and strong.
And he and his wife Nancy and his daughter Christine being Rob's wife, they, as the statement said, have donated millions to Rob's political career when he was originally running for auditor, every re-election, and now this governor's race. The bulk of the money that he is using to show you ads right now is coming from the Lauridsen family. Millions of dollars. And if you look up Nixon Lauridsen on the FEC website, so federal campaign contributions, and if you look up Nixon Lauridsen on the Iowa Ethics and Campaign Disclosure website, you will see every other political contribution he has made. All except for Rob, going to prominent Republicans in the state of Iowa. You can see donations to Terry Branstad back when he was governor. You can see many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. I haven't added it all up. It probably amounts to millions at the end of the day.
And we don't know. Yeah, there could be other donations as well.
Yeah, this is all stuff under his own name. And like wealthy people have ways of, moving money around that's a little more shadowy, right? Like PACs and stuff. But yeah, hundreds of thousands to Kim Reynolds and Randy Feenstra. And what the fuck was the guy's name? Something Gansky, the guy who I think was in Congress before Steve King. I didn't find any donations to Steve King, so maybe that was a bridge too far for Nixon Lauridsen. I don't know. But this is basically my primary concern, is that Rob Sand is 100% beholden to his father-in-law for his political career. And this is a guy who has, over the past, 30 years, like the contributions you can look up online, given so much of his money to the Republicans who have been in charge of the state. Why did he give them all that money? What did he get in return for that?
Yeah.
And what does he expect to get in exchange for funding his son-in-law?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's I'm not going to go so far to say there's some quid pro quo relationship or anything, but it does put a lot of context on Rob's whole thing, which is I have no political ideology.
Right.
All I care about is efficiency and saving money. The culture war. We don't want to talk about culture war issues because those are a distraction from budgetary concerns and bullshit like that. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
There's hundreds of thousands of people in the state who are very invested in what he considers culture war issues that are things that impact their daily lives. Mm-hmm. And that's why I hate Rob Sand. I mean, he's a fucking empty suit. He's being endorsed by Fetterman, Andrew Yang, Rob Delaney. Not Rob Delaney. I keep saying Rob Delaney.
John Delaney.
John Delaney. And,
yeah, I didn't find that. You mentioned that to me the other day. I forgot to look it up. I got emails from Tim Walz and
Pete Buttigieg
about Rob. Yeah, John Delaney. That's a funny one. Why even? Who cares? Why would he even court his endorsement?
Well, he might have done it out of his own personal, appreciation for Rob. But I mean, these are the kind of people that Rob is courting, right. Yeah, political independence, i.e., people who are sympathetic to Trump
and voted for Trump. Yeah, I mean. Oh, yeah. Rob Publicans was in that statement that you read.
That's something that he actually said.
Yeah, not a joke that people made up to make fun of him. Rob himself put that in. It's in an email, I think. Look, we've been drowning in Rob Sand material this week.
It was in the Axios newsletter. Yep.
Right. So much. I mean, Daddy's money is going a long way this week. Constant social media ads, tens of emails a day. I mean, if this was just a media race, he's going to be the next governor. But I don't know. Okay, you mentioned the culture war distraction thing. We should probably jump right into the Simon Conway interview.
Yeah, good.
Because I think that this is the most enlightening thing. And for those who don't remember, I think this was in 2022. we received an email from somebody doing like PR for Rob. The podcast, Rock Hard Caucus, received an email from somebody working for Rob Sand seeking to get him various media spots. They contacted us. We didn't reach out to them, asking for us to interview him. And I thought that was really funny. So I said, yes, of course. When can we schedule something? And they ghosted us. All right. He refuses to acknowledge us at all. So what does he do? I think this was the day he announced, maybe a day or two after. He goes on Simon Conway's radio show. We have talked about Simon Conway, I believe, once before when Lennon Becom went on his show during the Iowa State Fair and just got raked over the coals for not being anti-abortion. Simon Conway is like a fucking British right-wing guy who's here for some reason doing radio. Yeah, every time he's had like a Democrat or a liberal type person on his show, he just hammers them with the same question over and over again.
Yeah. And Rob Sand has also appeared on his show multiple times because I went to go listen to this interview and I accidentally pulled one from April 30th.
Right, he was on the show 2 weeks prior.
And it was very funny when I opened that podcast up. It started with 2 ads. One was for like suck up seeds or like farm shit. I don't really know.
Okay. Yeah.
What suck up does, but I know they're like seeds. A big. Yeah, I know.
I've seen like I saw a billboard for that or something.
Oh, actually, they do. They make like silos. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it was like an ad for like Mudvayne or like
Mudvayne, the band.
Yeah, maybe not Mudvayne. It was something. It was butt rock of some variety. It very much reminded me of listening to like Rock 108 back in the day when they're doing like ticket, like giving away tickets to see like fucking like Shinedown or like I don't know other butt rock stuff. So these are the kind of people who listen to Simon Conway's program.
Yeah, he's on WHO, which, if you don't know, Ronald Reagan himself was once a WHO anchor, so I'm sure Simon's very proud to be part of that lineage. All right, yeah, so point being, Rob refuses to acknowledge Iowa's only podcast, the only podcast in Iowa that has correct opinions on anything, but he's a regular, it seems, on Simon Conway's radio show, which exists to, of course, advance the cause of fascism. That's the purpose of Simon Conway's radio career. So I pulled a few clips from this to just sort of give people an idea. This is like the beginning of Rob's campaign. Yeah, May 13th. So Tuesday is when, at least when this was posted on WHO's website. Yes, Rob Sand went on Simon Conway's show on Tuesday, day after he announced. This is how he's like launching his campaign. All right. This is kind of a long clip, but this is the first thing Simon asks him. This is a priority.
So based on stuff you said in the past, for example, do you regret calling the president a madman?
I said what I said. I'd have to see the context of it.
So I really like that because it's like, 1, I said what I said. 2, I don't actually remember saying it. It's almost like he's I'm not ashamed of anything I've ever said. He's sort of like standing his ground while simultaneously backpedaling, like back to back.
It was in a tweet, and
what year was that?
It was 2016. The year it was May of 2016.
Back to 10 years ago.
Hey, man. Hey, you're running for the top job, brother.
They're friends. They spend a lot of time laughing and just having a good time on this interview. This is kind of the same thing he was doing with Annon Becom, too. Remember that? Like, just digging up a tweet and being like, hey, you criticized Donald Trump a couple times. Yeah, who fucking cares? He's the president.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's funny for Rob to be like, oh yeah, that was 10 years ago, as if Donald Trump hasn't become like more and more fucking insane, like absolutely fucking off the deep end.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, this stuff is out there.
I have been, I didn't delete the tweet, right? Here's the difference, and part of this, right? I've also been critical of Democratic candidates and Democratic presidents because my approach to this whole thing is, I can't stand the idea that we only judge someone based on their party affiliation. We have too much of that going on in this country. And so, yeah, I'm an equal opportunity annoyer.
Agreed. I find you annoying in every way imaginable. Equal opportunity annoyer. Thank you for the episode title, Rob.
You might say. They got plenty of people in the Democratic Party who aren't happy with me. Here's a good example of this. The DNC, when I was state auditor, made a request for records.
When I was state auditor, that just jumped out at me. He is now. He's currently state auditor, already referring to it in the past tense. He is ready to go.
Wanted all allegations of wrongdoing by Kim Reynolds. We told him, I guess it fits. We told him to go pound sand. We're not going to give you anything because that's not the way it works in Iowa. I don't know if they thought they were going to Bigfoot me or something like that, but they literally made the request.
I don't know if they thought they were going to Bigfoot me.
And again, we said, hey.
Yeah, I mean, I think what he means is big dick me, right?
Yeah.
But he realized he's on radio, so he can't. Daytime radio. I've never heard anyone say that, though. Bigfoot me.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like
He's
that.
been listening to Rock Hard Caucus.
Yeah.
This isn't how this works. I'm not working for you. I don't work for the DNC. I don't work for a party. I work for the taxpayers of the state of Iowa. And I'm not giving you squat because there's no basis in the law for me to do that.
So his example of criticizing Democrats is that the DNC asked him for some Oppo research on his future opponent. The person probably most responsible for the abysmal state of Iowa politics, Kim Reynolds. The DNC was basically offering like, hey, we'll help you topple this awful tyrant. And he's like, no, fuck you. I will not provide any information to my party's leadership to help me accomplish this. Which, I don't know, maybe it's a savvy move to sort of paint himself as, in opposition to party leadership.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the angle, but like my thing is like, who buys this? I mean,
yeah, this is horseshit.
He's so fucking slippery. Like, it's not like wow, like it's so brave. I mean, I guess a lot of people do buy it. We are like this week has definitely made me feel like I'm going absolutely insane seeing other people react to this news.
We are certainly in the minority. I will say that the certain things that he says in this interview have opened some people's eyes. I can say that from personal conversations I've had this week. Yeah. That he is shooting himself in the foot with certain people.
Yeah,
which I'm grateful for.
And my thing is like, like we did the joke thing about Nope Pack or whatever, but like I don't know.
I thought you received an email.
Yeah, it's not a joke. You're right. It's 100% serious. But like even like I don't know. I think that Rob Sand does need to be pressured into like making specific stances on certain things that he clearly does not want to. And I think that if you are inclined to like Rob Sand and want Democrats to win, then that should be something that you appreciate, because I think it hopefully, if Rob Sand is receptive, which I mean, it seems like he hasn't been up to this point, makes him a stronger candidate who has better rehearsed answers for these sorts of things. I mean, ideally something he actually cares about and is actually like open to listen to activists of, any stripe who are, because that's this whole thing is like, oh, I represent all Iowans, but then he's like,
I'll talk to anybody.
I'll talk to anybody except for the Rock Hard Caucus podcast. And, I mean, we've heard of other stories that we can't probably talk about publicly of him, shutting down local activists and, maybe working against them. But anyway, he needs to be pressured on this stuff 100%. And it's fucked up how many people are willing to give him a pass, just like because he is running against Kim Reynolds, or he's not running against Kim Reynolds, running against the Republican Party that everyone hates. Like, we get it.
Right. Yeah, for sure. I'm under no delusions that anyone else is possibly going to get the Democratic nomination for governor.
Absolutely not.
It's going to be him. There's nothing we can do about that. And I'm not hopeful there's anything we can do to sway him one way or the other. I think millions of dollars from your father-in-law probably trumps everything.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't want him taking any risky positions, anything that would rock the boat in terms of altering Iowa's economy or culture in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, pipe dream, we can somehow force him to become an Andy Bashir type governor.
Yeah. We need to put the fucking fire to his feet. We do not want, even it's going to be a cakewalk to the nomination or to the general, like you said.
Right.
But we need to make it as, hard for him. Like, he needs to be actually having real discussions with real leftists.
Yeah, not just people who are desperate to beat the Republicans, which again is obviously everyone should want that, of course. But for what? For what purpose? For a guy to just be a Republican?
Yeah.
Like replace the Republicans with a guy who's not going to do anything different?
I mean, literally.
Yeah.
What is he? The only thing that he even is talking about is saving taxpayer money, efficiency, innovation. That's the only thrust of his campaign so far. Yeah, and I'm not a partisan insider, despite being a partisan insider for the majority of his career. I mean, that's what I mean. Who the fuck is this supposed to appeal to? We can see who you are.
I'm going to play some more of this Simon Conway interview. This is the part that's really disgusting.
Do you think biological boys or men should be able to play women's sports?
No.
Excellent. Because there seems to have been some doubt about that. So that's good. I mean, that's an unequivocal answer, which is wonderful. I like those. It enables us to move on. So, why now? Why now?
The dangerous piece.
Well, I like them.
I do want to say,
yeah.
I do want to say this too. The unequivocal answer allows you to move on. Because you and I both know there are people in this state who are elected into public office who like to come onto your show and filibuster.
Oh, yeah. No, there are. No, there are.
They keep talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
No, look, no, I don't think so. I also think that's settled law in the state of Iowa. It is what it is.
All right. I wanted to make sure that whole thing plays out because, you might think, he's got a chance here to elaborate on his answer a little bit to say, well, what's a biological boy?
Or,
what's a biological
reject the
man?
premise of the fucking question, which is what you should fucking do, fucking idiot.
Yeah, everybody knows what that question means at this point. It's a fucking wedge trying to turn the entirety of the question of should trans people have rights, trying to turn it into, oh, well, what about this one little thing that, we could trick you into thinking this is it's unfair to girls to allow trans girls to play sports. No, we all know the fucking deal at this point, right? Mm-hmm. He's asking, should they be allowed to go to the bathroom? Should trans people be allowed in public? Should they be thrown in prison? I mean, especially now in Iowa. We know what this question's about. Rob knows what this question's about. Rather than taking the opportunity to defend a vulnerable population who actually just this week, it was passed that they're going to have their medical treatments, their medical procedures stripped from Medicaid. Mm-hmm. An opportunity to speak on that, the oppression being forced upon this population by the people currently in power who you are seeking to replace. No. All you have to say is no. It's settled law. It is what it is. That's all you have to say. You're running for fucking governor of Iowa. Mm-hmm. And yeah, this fucking right-wing shithead from England asks you this fucking dog whistle question. All you have to say is no, and then you have a nice little chuckle about how people filibuster on his radio show or whatever. Because at the end of the day, that's most important. Is that you remain on friendly terms with this fucking limey Rush Limbaugh who lives in Iowa for some fucking reason. Why is this guy here? Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just wondering, was he directly taking shots at Lanon Bakam in this interview? Because he said the thing about I didn't delete the tweets, and then he's talking about filibustering, which is basically what Bakam did. He's trying to be. He's I'm not like that guy. I'm not like the other Dems.
Yeah, I'm a nice white boy like you, I think is the underlying message there.
Anyway, like I said,
he has to listen to this every day, right?
You need a better fucking answer for that. Like, again, you're on right wing. Well, I mean, you shouldn't be going on right wing radio. There's zero benefit to doing this interview. Like, these people are not, in the most part, not going to vote for you. Like,
no,
that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gift to them. Like, oh, even the top Democrat agrees with our position that trans girls are actually biological boys and they must be locked up, kept away from our precious little girls that can only be abused by us.
And I think a lot of those social issues are really distractions from the pocketbook stuff that's making Iowans hurt.
Well, to a degree, you are correct. I'm not actually going to argue with you on that, except, it was the party that you're choosing to, put their letter after your name on the ballot. I've been very careful how I said that, by the way, cause, I'm going to try and come back to it in a minute. It's that party that made this an issue. And then there are people like me who are like, look, this is just absolutely ridiculous. It's clearly unfair and it shouldn't be a thing. So to me, it was a real simple answer. You gave me the real simple answer and now you've stretched it out. You're not filibustering me, are you? Good.
Absolutely ridiculous. I think what's absolutely ridiculous is a guy who sounds like this on Iowa radio. Maybe I'm being, I don't know, xenophobic. Discriminatory by saying something like that, but yeah, you have no place. You have no place on the Iowa airwaves. This should not be going into people's trucks on their AM radios. A guy who sounds like this in rural Iowa, absolutely not. Ridiculous. Yeah. So these social issues are a distraction from the pocketbook issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this week, Medicaid, gender affirming care. Hormone replacement therapy, taken off of Medicaid. Do you think that might be a pocketbook issue,
That sounds like a
Rob?
pocketbook issue to me.
Yeah. Do you think that having their civil rights revoked, which means that they will face housing discrimination, employment discrimination, do you think that might be a pocketbook issue, Rob? Do you think that these people also need money to live? Well, that's speaking of pocketbook issues. How are your pockets feeling, Rob? Are you having any issues with your pocketbooks? Fucking overflowing with millions of dollars from your dad? Wife's dad, sorry.
Yeah, he sure is hateable.
So legalize cannabis and Doge Iowa.
Sounds good, right?
No, and I want to be clear. Cannabis is a drug. It is a dangerous drug.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I like.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Cannabis is a dangerous drug.
It's a dangerous drug.
Rob Sand 2026.
It's scary. It's a dangerous drug, but we should legalize it because taxpayer tax money. Hell yeah, dog. Like what?
Talk about it to say let's treat.
He's gonna get lit up. I mean, he's gonna get lit up in the general election.
For what? For this weed thing?
No, well, just because he's so fucking slippery. He's a fucking. He's so easy to portray as like someone who doesn't give a fuck about. Like he's an operator. He's like so clearly a fucking machine politician. Like it's insane.
Yeah,
that we've like convinced ourselves that he's authentic. Oh, because I saw people like, oh, because he didn't do like a highly produced campaign video. He was out in the beautiful Iowa nature doing a cell phone camera video. Like that's like an example of his authenticity. Like fuck off.
Dude,
are you fucking kidding me? What is wrong with you?
It looks like a green screen. Like it's real. I don't think it's fake, but like it's so clearly calculated. His announcement video. Yeah. By the way, what are they called?
Go ahead.
I was looking at his financial filings last night or the night before, and he has paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars to God, what are they called? Break something. Something is a some sort of like political consultant group based out of Washington D.C. Breaksomething.net. So this is who is running his like ads.
Yeah. I think it's like something like once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like the Carhartt thing, that is 100% a political choice because Carhartt is like the brand that appeals to both liberals and conservatives. Like it's the official gear of the political moderate, the F-150 trucks, I love cheap fast food like you do. Like I'm one of you. Like it is just so transparent.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Let's jump over to that announcement video. I ripped this from his Twitter. Let's just hear some of this. We can maybe come back to Simon Conway later because I do have one more clip of that. But here's Rob's announcement video.
Hey, Iowa, it's Rob Sand, and I'm running for governor. I'm doing it because we need more public service and less politics. A lot of politicians yap about making a place redder or bluer. I want Iowa to be better and truer.
Thoughts?
Wow. That is a whole lot of nonsense.
Redder
better and truer?
What about better and truer?
How do you make a state truer? It is what it is, folks.
Yeah. If you think you're getting a lot of truth out of this guy. Also, I just noticed right at the beginning of the video, there's that little sound that sometimes you get on a cell phone video. There's like the sound of like your finger hitting the mic, you know? Mm-hmm. I wonder how calculated that was. Like, we got to have that little sound in there. So it looks like I filmed this myself.
As a criminal prosecutor, I went after violent crime, corruption, and uncovered the largest lottery rigging scheme in American history. As state auditor, I created an efficiency program that saved so much money for taxpayers that it got copied in 2 other states. I took a solitary stand against your tax dollars getting used to pay for egregious sexual harassment settlements, and we uncovered a record amount of waste, fraud, and abuse. Politicians in Des Moines responded to us finding all that waste, fraud, and abuse by making it harder for us to find it in the future. You got higher costs, an economy that the Trump administration says is 49th in the country. They serve special interests and insiders. I want government to serve Iowans.
He did a nice little, real genuine shrug there. Mm-hmm. That's the noise he should have made when he did it.
So if you're with me, help. Follow me on social media. Share my posts. Contribute if you can. Others might know that I'm the independent-minded state auditor, but they might not know that I'm small-town born and raised, for example. So visit robsand.com to get more information. Now, I'll have a public event in your county this year and...
This is what will help his campaign. Share his posts and tell your neighbors that he was born in a small town.
Yeah.
Does that matter? Is that really going to help? I know that this week has shown that I'm in a minority in being critical of this guy and hating everything he says. But do you give a fuck when you hear that someone running for office was born in a small town? Who cares?
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Next. Jeez. Come out. Everyone's welcome because I think Iowa deserves to have a governor for all. And I bet you do too. So, my plan is to try to get myself kicked out of a Rob Sand event over the next year. Everyone is welcome, he says. So let's put that to the test.
Except for the people I strategically throw under the bus. You know, those people are not as welcome. But I am, you know, totally willing to talk to whatever fucking fascist wants my ear.
Yeah. What was that? November of 2023. I went up to Cedar Falls to see him on some weird talk show. That was also a conservative show. Mm-hmm. When I made him answer the question about the Iowa Democratic Party calling University of Iowa Dems anti-Semites because they had a statement about Palestine. We got to press him on that too, by the way. First, I think his first ever mention in media was Jewish Insider praising him for enforcing Iowa's anti-BDS law. 2019, I think that article's from, and he's quoted as saying, "It's a no-brainer. Israel is our staunchest ally," or whatever the fuck. More about weed from the Simon Conway interview.
Like alcohol, right? Some people, when they say legalize, you know, I go back to, I think Colorado did make some mistakes with this. The first, the early bird gets the worm, and the second mouse gets the cheese. You know, so
second mouse gets the cheese. So what that means is Colorado, because they legalized early, they're dead now. They were killed in a mousetrap. Really?
Did some things here that I look back at and I think, well, that probably wasn't a great idea. I don't know why you would let people do that.
I don't. He should get more specific about that if he's going to take shots at Colorado, because it seems like a fucking paradise compared to here.
Yeah. There's not a lot of specifics in any of the stuff that he says.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess the whole point of him saying all that stuff is like, well, I don't want to go too far.
Right.
That could just be any statement he makes. Like, oh, let's be reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Never do anything as much as anyone else did.
Yeah.
All right,
we gotta follow from behind. We don't need leadership here. We need to.
Second mouse gets the cheese, right?
Second mouse gets the cheese.
Yeah. Don't be bold. Wait until somebody else is killed, and then take the spoils. All right, one last bit from Simon Conway. This is just baffling.
Let me get to the number one issue in Iowa. If you've door knocked,
okay, number one issue in Iowa. Have you listened to this?
Yeah,
Evan?
I did.
Okay, so you know what it is. But what do you think the number one issue might be? Like, if you were to speculate, number one issue in Iowa, I would say maybe the rising cancer rate is a thing. That's probably a major concern. The school vouchers, I think that's a big problem.
Yeah, Rob Sand has
with our education system.
Rob Sand has said a lot about that.
Yeah, totally.
We'll give him some credit on that.
Yeah. Those are two things that I would rank pretty highly in terms of Iowa issues. The cancer thing goes along with the water quality and air quality and stuff, but yeah.
You know it's the number one issue. Will you support an abolition of property taxes in the state of Iowa?
Oh, that's not what I was expecting. The number one issue in Iowa is that we should abolish the property tax. What? And he says, if you've been out door knocking, you know that this is the number one issue in Iowa. Simon Conway's out there knocking doors? Am I to believe this?
Yeah.
A man who sounds like that showing up at your door and asking you about what you think is important. Man, how many guns do you think he'd get pulled on him?
Yeah, I mean, probably a couple. Yeah, I mean, I know Republicans are trying to get rid of the property tax shit. I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, let's hear what Rob has to say about it.
I think the number one issue is abolish any taxes that I have to pay.
Right. That's been the number one issue for Republicans for forever.
Get your state revenue from someone else, not me. That's the number one issue.
Oh, an abolition?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to zero it out.
Just get rid of it. We'll find another way.
Well, you bring me a plan that shows me what the other way is, and then we can have a conversation.
All right, I'm already working on it. So
okay, I'm all ears.
What? Simon Conway is working on a state revenue plan that abolishes the property tax. No, he's not. What is this? What is this show? Our show is way better than this. We're smarter, we sound more normal, and we have better ideas.
Sure. I mean, I will say, yeah, we're better than Simon Conway. Fuck Simon Conway.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you weren't listening to the radio this week, I bet that you got a text message or an email or you saw social media ads from Rob. Like I said, that Lauridsen money is going a long way. They're dumping hundreds of thousands into ads this week. Let me just pull up one of these emails. I think this was his announcement. Yeah, 8:15 a.m. on Monday, I got this one. It's Rob Sand. I'm running for governor. And it starts with the waving hand emoji. Hey, Justin, it's Rob Sand. I'm Iowa's state auditor, a father, husband, skateboarder, bow hunter, and a proud Hawkeye. No chance he skates.
You don't think he's ever done a kickflip?
Oh, I think he has before. I think he's skated before. He got the skate park built in Decorah. He's bragged about that a million times. But if he was an active skateboarder, we would be seeing video of it all the time.
Good point.
Right?
Good point. 100%. I agree.
To that point, I've never seen a video of him actually firing an arrow from a bow.
Good point on that. I read there's a New York Times profile of him in like 2022. That basically it started with them being like, we asked Rob Sand like about an interesting Iowan for us to profile, and he said himself. That's like the first fucking sentence of the article.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh yeah, Rob Sand was like, he's talking about how, he could have gone to Harvard for law school, but he actually went to the University of Iowa instead, and how he likes to brag about that, but how he doesn't like to talk about his time modeling in Milan and Paris.
Right.
And then at the end,
didn't he go to an Ivy League before he went to Iowa?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he went to Brown. I think
that's right. Yeah.
Anyway, and then at the end of the article, he takes the reporter out on a bow hunting trip, and they go up in a deer blind and hang out for 2 hours and do not see a single deer the entire time.
I don't remember if we read that on the show back when it came out, but I certainly devoured that piece.
Yeah.
And now I'm coming to you with an exciting announcement. Snare drum emoji, snare drum emoji, snare drum emoji, snare drum emoji. I'm running to be the next governor of the great state of Iowa. This is going to be one of the most competitive elections in the country, says who. And with the Reynolds agenda unpopular and every Republican in lockstep with it, we've got an opportunity to do something truly special. Yeah, I think that tying, he's saying Republicans. So that's a good, good progress there. He's not just saying partisan insiders
or rob Republicans.
yeah,
which I never want to hear again.
So yeah, it's smart to tie them to Kim Reynolds, of course, who is resigning in disgrace. Not really, but she's not running for re-election. I do think, however, this is also an interesting week to claim that the Republicans are in lockstep, because they dragged out the legislative session for an extra 2 weeks because they were not in lockstep.
Right.
And I'm surprised he wouldn't hammer on the sort of, dysfunction. That's an angle I would expect him to take with that. Folks who know me know that I'm an open book and that every chapter starts and ends with Iowa. What about the chapters that didn't take place in Iowa? Let me skip around here. Before I was elected state auditor, in parentheses, italicized twice, highest approval rating among all statewide officials. So, taking a shot at one of his potential opponents.
Give him the bird!
Gotta give him the bird!
There's speculation she's going to run, Brenna Bird, but I feel like she's not going to. I don't think Brenna Bird is going to run for governor this time.
Why is that?
She just was elected, not that long ago. I feel like she's got to finish at least one term before she goes for the next step. And I don't think Feenstra would have put his hat in the ring if anybody else was going to run. The Feenstra thing surprised me. I do not feel that guy has statewide appeal.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but I do kind of think that he saw, Rob Sand is in the ring now, and his whole claim to fame is I beat Steve King by being a little bit more moderate than him.
I'm normal.
So I could see, even if he thought that Brenna Bird was going to run, there's going to be at least some Brenna Bird type, social conservative super freak
well, they
running.
got Brad Sherman, who's kind of in that lane.
True. But either way, I think Randy was probably I can probably position myself as being I'm less crazy than these other people, and I will have a better chance against Rob Sand in the general. Because I do think Rob Sand does. He's got a shot. I don't think it's a good shot, but I think he's got a shot for sure. Mm-hmm. And they're probably, they're definitely working on Oppo campaign against him, and that I'm sure will bear a lot of fruit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the email from that crowd. I won re-election in 2022 by just a shade under 3,000 votes, so I'm not afraid of a tough race. All right, that's enough of this email. Fuck this email. Let's watch another video, because he's been putting out videos every day. Oh, here, check this one out.
Viewing. Go ahead.
Let me set the scene. He's sitting in the passenger seat of a truck. Somebody is recording from the back seat, and they're listening to the radio. So that's Bohemian Rhapsody, right? By Queen, and Rob is lip syncing very dramatically to it.
Escape from reality.
What else should we listen to as we're driving around Iowa?
What else should we listen to? You got any suggestions? What should Rob listen to in the truck while he drives around? Yeah, I should just go into the comments of this tweet and just reply with a link to every episode where we've talked about him. Or I will just send him the link to his own song.
Yeah.
Cracks down on what kind of crime each day.
This is from his 2018 campaign for auditor, and it's on a SoundCloud page that's still up, still public, so that means he's proud of it, right? Surprised he didn't go for Wayne's World reference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, get to the heavier part, start doing the headbanging scene from Wayne's World. Like that's a much more effective, stupid little video.
He likes classic rock just like you.
Mm-hmm.
Moderate Iowan, white man Iowan.
Here's another one.
Hey friends, we're in Old Line. Heading to ampersand. Says I'm sand and I'm amp. I'll be running for governor.
Damn, that's some of the worst audio I've ever heard. It was really windy the past couple days, so I guess not entirely their fault. He went to Olwine to a place called Ampersand because I'm sand and I'm amped to run for governor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw he also came out to Enter Sandman by Metallica at his event in Des Moines, which was with a podcast called Pints and Diplomacy, which
suck my dick
is viscerally unappealing to us hipsters, leftist hipsters.
Look, I've said it a million times.
Pints and Diplomacy, fuck off.
We
man.
are the only podcast in Iowa. If you've heard any other podcasts, you know that they don't count. They're bad.
Listen, man, if we all could just have a beer together, then we could, solve all of the problems that we face together, you know.
Time to have a beer summit.
All it takes, beer summit. There you go. That was one of the best things that Obama ever did.
What's the song in the background of this Old Wine video?
I thought it was the Ramones. Right? Yeah, I thought it was the Ramones.
I'm not sure what song it is.
Old Line. Heading to ampersand. Says I'm sand and I'm amp. I'll be running for governor.
I don't know which Ramones song that is, but it starts with 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's still images of Rob holding up his fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's not synced up. It's not in sync. If you're gonna put the effort into doing that, you got to actually sync the spoken numbers to the fingers. Text messages. Everybody is getting text messages from Rob saying, except me. I don't believe I got any of these. So I've been spared that somehow.
They manually removed you from the list.
Probably put on a blacklist, yes. But I got our friend Izzy provided these screenshots of text messages to me. It came with an image from the New York Times. It says Rob Sand, Iowa's only Democrat in statewide office to run for governor. I didn't actually look up the Times piece. I guess they did run something on the 12th. Mitch Smith at the New York Times ran an announcement article. So that Lauridsen money goes all the way out to New York, I guess. And the text says, it addresses the person receiving the text. Are you ready to rock and roll? So, Rock Hard Caucus listeners, I ask you, are you ready to rock and roll?
Rob Sand cracks down on what
It's Rob Sand, and I'm running for governor. 2 exclamation points. Parentheses, italicized, hold your applause.
Man.
Keep in mind, this is his first impression on some people, because thousands of people got this text who probably have not even thought about Rob Sand before. And this is how he introduces himself. I'm running for governor. Hold your applause.
You love me. I know you love me.
Now, I know better than anyone that running in Iowa statewide with a D behind your name is tough. I won my state auditor's race by less than 3K votes, but ever since, Iowans have been singing my praises. And this is bolded. I don't know how you do this kind of formatting in a text message, to be honest. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't know how you bold and italicize words in text messages. I have the highest approval rating of any statewide elected official.
Yeah, 53% or something.
That's because voters know they can count on me to hold those in power accountable and to give it to them straight. apostrophe EM. Give it 2 M straight. This is far too casual. Which is why I'll scream this from the rooftops. The only way we can win is with your support. And then it addresses the person receiving the text. Now, this is a bold-faced lie. You have millions and millions of dollars from your wife's family. You do not need me to send you money, and I will not.
He made like over 2 million in donations in the
on Monday
first couple days.
That's right.
Of the campaign. Yeah, a lot of people willing to open their wallets.
To get my campaign rolling along, I need 8,000 founding donors on board in the first week. This is Nancy Pelosi style fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot, but that's what it'll take to send a loud message that we have what it takes to win this race. And then there's another text sent a few hours later. Sorry for texting so late, but I wanted to reach out once more. I'm, italicized, blown away by the support our campaign has received today. We've shown that our campaign can win this race for Iowa's open governor office, but only if we keep up this momentum. With your support, I'll be able to reach voters in all 99 counties, something he's already doing, and did without your money.
This is what he's paying the break something people for.
Yeah.
What if Rob Sand, I mean, he's like we've talked about, he's really leaning into the rock and roll theme, but what if he started doing he started rapping like Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit?
See, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Or he could do just white rappers. So he could do the Lose Yourself thing, like Ramaswamy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should just, Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby. I feel like that.
Sand Baby.
Yeah.
Vanilla Sand. Yeah.
Vanilla Sand.
I think it's
my
pretty
God,
good.
dude. That is good.
I'm going to pull up another video here.
Hey everybody, we are crazy close to hitting our first fundraising goal for our first 24 hours, and we got a few hours left. So we're hoping that you would pitch in. If we hit this goal, it's really going to make a statement about how serious people are in the state of Iowa to see change. In fact, we've had donations come in from all 99 counties already. So please hit share, email the link to your family, have a few more people chip in and help get us there. Thanks.
We hadn't commented on this yet, but the logo he's chosen for his campaign
I'm looking
is
at.
ass.
It's really bad.
It's so bad. There's like a lime green. Okay, so it's the state of Iowa with a big S carved through it.
And, oh my God. I just realized it's like high vis. That's what it is. Yeah. I didn't realize
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God.
The top left chunk of Iowa is like a lime green. Bottom right is an orange. So yeah, it's like hunting colors. That's what he's going for. That's what he's evoking.
Oh my fucking God.
And then in the very middle, it's it's a handshake between these two chunks of Iowa, the green chunk and the orange chunk. And the handshake looks like old clip art just sort of pasted on there.
Yeah. He's not trying to make Iowa redder or bluer. He's trying to make it greener and oranger.
Green is the color of better. Orange is the color of truth. This logo looks bad. It's just bad looking. I'm surprised that this is what you went with all that money you have. You couldn't. Maybe that's part of the aesthetic he's going for. Is like, look at this scrappy logo that I threw together myself on my old computer. This is a grassroots campaign. Can't even afford graphic designers. Can't afford professional videographers. All the videos are taken on a cell phone on a windy day. Or in the car with the stereo blaring. We're just like you. That's what's important to remember. We're just like you. Here's a video from day 2.
Hey everybody, just wanted to reach out on day
Truck. Passenger seat of truck. He loves this.
2 and tell you thanks. We are seeing great energy on the ground, and I'm excited. We had donors from all 99 counties on the first day. Amazing. We broke the fundraising record in Iowa under 24 hours with $2.2 million. Previous record was $1 million in a week. We did double that in a day. A lot more work to do, but I'm honestly honored to have so many of you with me from the start. Thank you.
This is something to celebrate, everybody. More fucking money down the drain for these fucking stupid elections. We've broken a record for money wasted. I thought your whole vibe was like efficiency, rooting out government waste, and here you are, burning everyone's money.
Yeah, and burning a bunch of gas in this fucking huge truck. Like, what's efficient about that? That was another thing in that New York Times article. It was like Rob Sand actually carries the things that he needs on a trip, like in his jacket. Like he has a sawed-off toothbrush and a mini tube of toothpaste, so he can brush his teeth on any moment's notice because he's all about efficiency.
Right. I was sent this Substack piece by Anastasia. This is by Giovanni Bahena. Do you know this person?
I've interacted with them on Twitter, but I don't know how to pronounce their last name.
Yeah, same. So apologies, Giovanni. On Wednesday this week, Giovanni published this on Substack, which is called Pages in the Memoirs. It's giovannibahena.substack.com. Rob Sand is running for governor of Iowa. So on the surface, it appears, this is another piece celebrating, yes, our savior is back. But it becomes a very interesting story here. Let me skip ahead here a bit. He's writing about, was this the 2024 election? Yes. This is a story about waiting in line to vote in the 2024 election. He knew it would be a long line, so he brought a book. Miriam Kaba's "We Do This Until We Free Us," because I knew I had to be the most insufferable person in the voting line. I like that. I think because voters are stupid, and you got to take the opportunity to educate them, right, with something a little bit more advanced. Time passes and the line moves forward slowly but surprisingly efficiently. After about 45 minutes in line, I see a camera person from one of the local affiliates walking around. He walks east down the block, and after a short while, he walks back west down the block. After his second pass headed west, a white Ford, this says 5150, I believe it's probably an F-150. Not that I know truck models, I just know about the Ford F-150. Mm-hmm. A white Ford F-150 pulls into a parking spot. Out of the truck climbs Iowa State Auditor Rob Sand, and the music plays. Rob Sand. He heads west to meet the camera person. After a couple of beats, he heads back to his truck. That's beats from the song, of course. After a couple of beats from his Roxanne parody, he heads back to his truck, and I manage to catch through his tinted windows that he has a pile of pizza boxes. I assume he's brought pizza to the election office, either to hand out to the poll workers or those in line, or to eat all himself. He's going to eat several pizzas in front of the cameras.
He said he can audit an entire pizza in one sitting.
Well, I've been known to audit an entire pizza. Look, people, if you haven't done this before, just open up his Twitter, open up his Blue Sky, read all the shit he posts. Read them aloud. Read them out loud to yourself. Try to imagine the voice that you would be speaking these lines in. All right, back to Giovanni. Okay, so he's got a bunch of pizza. This isn't a surprise to me. The first time I'd encountered Sand in the wild was in Cedar Rapids right after the 2020 derecho. Yes, Rob Sand did go to Cedar Rapids in the aftermath of the derecho, helped chop up some fallen trees and stuff. And that's kind of the story here. All right. Skipping the derecho story. As the camera person sets up their camera, Sand comes back from his truck carrying just over a dozen Casey's pizza boxes. He must have some sort of endorsement deal, right?
Yeah.
It's almost always Casey's. He does do Come and Go a little bit. He went to Come and Go in the John Fetterman videos. He plants himself and says something along the lines of, "I'm here with some Casey's pizza for the people waiting in line to vote at the Polk County election office." I'm thinking about Wayne's World again, the like Pepsi and Doritos product placement scene. It's that, but Rob Sand is wearing like a NASCAR jacket with a bunch of Casey's logos on it. I see a couple people stop their conversations and lightly applaud and wave to the camera. The camera person nods at Sand and starts tearing down his camera. I won't lie to you, dear reader. I was excited for a slice. I'd been in line a while and hadn't eaten since breakfast. As the camera person grabs his equipment and walks back west to their van, Rob Sand heads east down the road. I assume he's going towards the front of the line to the people who had been in line the longest. Then he turns towards his truck, places the boxes in the back, gets in the driver's seat, and drives off. It hits me as the truck drives away. I have just been a front row witness to some political theater. Rob Sand had coordinated with a local camera person to meet him around the election office, had posed himself with empty pizza boxes, gotten his shot, and simply driven away, empty boxes rattling in the backseat of his Ford F-150. I look around at the people closest to me in line and see them all back to their conversations with their phones. I cannot even now confidently say whether or not other people noticed or cared. This is a great metaphor for the entire, this whole week. This whole week is Rob Sand doing a bunch of fucking stupid political theater. And I'm looking around like, does anyone care? Does anyone care what he said on Simon Conway's show? Like, this man doesn't give a fuck about anything except his own vanity. Mm-hmm. The Iowa Democrats are about to nominate a candidate who is entirely beholden to basically an oligarch. Nixon Lauridsen will have the governor in his pocket. If he doesn't already. I'm sure Kim Reynolds and Nixon Lauridsen have some kind of relationship. He's given hundreds of thousands of dollars to her.
That's a lot of money.
But what better? What better? Oh, my own son-in-law being entirely dependent on my money for his political career. What could I stand to gain from that? He's driving around the state with empty pizza boxes, pretending he's going to feed people waiting in line to vote. That's craven, evil behavior. Yeah, it turns out this was pretty much an entirely Rob Sand episode.
Yeah,
I kind of expected it to end up that way. We knew that
was gonna happen.
Yeah. Let's give a moment to who is probably likely his main competition at this point, Randy Feenstra, who I don't think has technically officially started his campaign. He's got one of those preliminary committee things going on, but he has already started buying TV ads. So Randy Feenstra is also running for governor.
He's running.
Yeah. And one of those TV ads is already available. This is something that I have access to. I got it off of Randy's own YouTube page. This is a Randy Feenstra ad entitled New Heights.
You could say people look up to Randy Feenstra. That's because he's 6'5". But his conservative record, that's no tall tale. Feenstra stood with President Trump and battled Biden and the left. He's leading the fight to stop communist China from buying up Iowa farmland. Feenstra backed Trump to secure our border. Now, Iowa needs a proven conservative to take us to new heights. Well, Randy Feenstra's just the guy to do it. Randy Feenstra for governor.
He's tall.
He's tall. He looks like
a tall man.
Lurch.
Yeah. Do you want the little Sandman, or do you want towering Lurch for your governor?
Wait, how tall is Rob Sand?
He's also fairly tall, I think.
I don't think he's quite
as tall as Randy, but over 6, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
Is this information available on the internet?
I don't think so. I just Googled it. I'm sorry, I DuckDuckGo'd it. Excuse me.
I'm going to robsand.com/about. Let's see. Height is height.
Yeah,
on
that
here.
would be good.
The impression I got from that Randy Feenstra ad is that this is something very important, right?
Lead
with that first.
Every politician should have to list their height and weight like they're a boxer.
Absolutely, yeah. And only people of similar builds should be allowed to compete against each other.
And they need to be audited because, the NBA, they always list player heights as significantly high, or they do it with in shoes, and then there's people speculating they're not as tall as that, and then sometimes it's off by 2 or 3 inches.
I think relevant to Simon Conway's preoccupation with sex and gender in sports also. Male and female politicians should not be allowed to run in the same races.
Right.
We should have a 2 different governments: women's government and men's government. Do you like this idea? I said that our podcast has better ideas than any other podcast. I think this is a good one. Gender segregated governments.
I feel like you could get a lot of people on board with that. I don't think it's a good idea, but
look, if we're going to be going crazy with all these restrictions on people's sex and gender, is this not part of the deal? We can't have men and women debating topics in the same room. It's not fair to either of them. Their brains are just different. The biology of a man and a woman politician is completely different. Their brains are made of entirely different materials. They can't possibly be competing in the fucking marketplace of ideas together. It's not fair.
Mm-hmm. And their interests are completely diametrically opposed as well.
Yeah. If the point of all of this regressive sex and gender stuff from the American government is that men and women are just opposites, absolutely distinct species from each other, then it makes no sense for us to have a co-ed government. Right? They're not the same thing. They can't be in the same rooms at all.
No. I mean, that's... that was Mike Pence. Mike Pence is the guy who's like, I can't be in another room with a woman who isn't my wife.
My wife. All right. Well, yeah, we talked a lot about the upcoming governor's race and how disappointing and infuriating the next year and a half is going to be here in Iowa, as Rob Sand absolutely floods the airwaves, floods our brains with Rob Sand material, buries us in sand. There is one thing that I do want to place a bit of a spotlight on. A friend of the show, Emma Denny, has started a Substack, which you can find at them.substack.iowa. That's THEEM. THEEM.substack.com. And her first piece is about the state legislature banning Medicaid coverage for trans healthcare. And she connects a lot of dots that I think are really important that maybe not everybody has been paying attention to. Like the explicit stated purpose of Steve Holt's bill to remove gender identity from the Iowa Civil Rights Act was to do things like this, is to remove gender affirming care from Medicaid coverage. Because if gender identity is protected in our Civil Rights Act, moves like this cannot possibly be legal. And so this is the beginning of Steve Holt's plan to what? Kill these people? Is that what he wants? I mean, denying them medical care is going to harm them physically, right? So I'll link to Emma's piece because it's got a lot of important information on both, what happened, some context for what happened, the people who did it, the small number of people who opposed it in legislative debates. Eleanor Levin, Amy Wichtendahl deserves some credit there. Molly Donahue as well, who we've made fun of several times, but is... I mean, at the end of the day, one of the better legislators.
Yeah.
as funny as some of her personal activities have been. But yeah, it's also importantly got like some things you can do to counteract the effects of this as things are getting more and more dire for the people of the state, especially the trans people of the state, which is the focus of this article.
Yep. Yeah, Emma does great work. Really great.
Yeah. With that said, IowaTransMutualAidFund.org is one very direct way that you can help people who are about to lose their Medicaid coverage for their necessary, life-saving medicine. Bunch of evil fucks.
Yeah. I guess shout out to Tony Bisignano. He is my senator, and he also had some decent remarks on it, and actually emailed me about it, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, I'm on his email list. I'm on his list or whatever.
Okay.
He sent an email specifically, like solely about the attack on trans healthcare and Medicaid.
Yeah. Good. At least there's that. And simultaneously, we got a fucking turd running for governor who has nothing to say about that.
That's so fucked up.
His only remarks are to just laugh and agree with a conservative radio host and say, it's settled law, it is what it is. The law hasn't even gone into effect yet. It's settled law. All right, Rob. As the guy who's trying to be in charge of the state, you might have some opinions on what the law should be.
Yeah. I do. Yeah. I mean, like that, people should be asking him specific questions about specific bills and whether he would sign them.
Sure.
Encourage anyone to show up to his campaign events and ask him questions that will make him squirm.
Yeah.
Preferably on camera.
Yes. This man needs to be needled at every opportunity. He's going to win the nomination, and it's possible he could become the governor. And if that's the case, he needs to fucking fix his brain and heart and soul. Something needs to I don't know. We got to counter the effect of daddy's money. And that's going to be very hard to do. All right, let's plug some stuff and then end the episode.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
We're going to be doing this for the next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully in the future, we're not going to do all Rob Sand episodes, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of goofy stuff he's saying.
Yeah. If we do that, please stop listening to the show. All right. Don't encourage us to do that.
Yeah. we got it out of our system here.
Yeah.
There might be more developments, but yeah, we're not going to devote our entire show to him.
All right, plugs. KRUI, University of Iowa radio station, where I used to do a show. They released a compilation of local artists on Bandcamp. You can find it at krui897.bandcamp.com. It's called Soil, and I have a track on there. I have the 15th track of 30. I'm exactly halfway through. Justin K. Comer's Soft Cock theme is on the KRUI Soil compilation. You may guess from the title that is a track that I intend for use on this podcast, the Soft Cock theme, but it has not yet come to fruition. But go check that out. The proceeds are all being split between all the artists on there, so if it actually sells a few copies, I might end up with a few dollars for that. So go check it out. And other music things, I will be playing a show June 17th at Trumpet Blossom in Iowa City. Larry Wish from Minneapolis is on tour. I'll be supporting him along with local legend Samuel Locke Ward. So that's sure to be a very fun show. June 17th at Trumpet Blossom. Hey, if you have any thoughts about any of our criticisms of Rob Sand, anything we forgot or maybe got too angry to express eloquently that you feel like you could do a better job, you can call us at 319-849-8733. You can weigh in with your own opinions. Maybe you think we're totally off base and you think that the right move is to back the winning horse.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we all need to unite to defeat the Republicans, right? I'm sure a lot of people out there feel that way. I'm tempted to feel that way. There's a few things I can't get over.
I wish I could. I wish I could feel that way. But yeah, my positions have changed. Actually, I used to be all about Obama. I used to be all about the hope of liberalism. But I don't think it's getting the results that we need.
Yeah. So if you want to have a conversation about that, a one-sided conversation where you can rant for up to 3 minutes and then maybe we'll respond to it on the podcast, 319-849-8733 is the Rock Hard Caucus voicemail line. Please give us a call whenever you want. It doesn't have to be about Rob Sand. It can be anything. Just speak your mind. Spill your guts, as the poster says. If you'd like to support the show, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. For just $1 a month, you can get a whole bunch of audio, including the latest episode of Speed Freak Read Speak, where Tony and I review Sonic the Hedgehog comic books. This latest episode is over 2 hours long, and we discuss a comic called Sonic Live, the cover of which promises Sonic the Hedgehog coming out of a TV screen and grabbing some children. All right? And our friend David Clare is on that episode to talk about it with us. If that sounds promising to you, patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. And there's a $5 tier if you want to watch the video, if you're a real sicko. All right, we're going to close out with some local music. My friend Penny Peach released an EP this week called Yearn to Cleanse, which you can find at pennypeachjr.bandcamp.com. There's a track on there called ICPD, which of course stands for Iowa City Police Department, that I thought would be of particular relevance to our audience. So I'm going to play that, ICPD by Penny Peach from the new EP Yearn to Cleanse. And I should let you know that all proceeds from this EP are going to the Immigrant Welcome Network of Johnson County. So that's good. Good for Ellie doing that.
Mm-hmm.
If you have music you'd like us to hear, go to rockhardcock.us, click on Submit Music at the top of the page, and I will buy it from you on Bandcamp and maybe play it on the show. All right, that was 198. You feel okay about that, Evan?
We got it out there, like I said. Got it off our chest. Now we can maybe not talk about it until like the general election. I'm curious to see who else. I know. I'm curious to see who else comes in on the Republican side, though. I'm curious.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We got a year to talk about it. So, God. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Pussy, pity, please don't stop me. I'm not guilty. I was only walking. I see pity, please don't clock me. I'm not guilty. I was only talking. What's it gonna take to get you off my case? Because I'm headed to a meeting and you're gonna make me late. You, I pity, please don't stop me. I'm not guilty, I was only walking. You, I pity, please don't clock me. I'm not